And another reason why the trend also lasted, apart from the flashy life, is that the lies was just too much. So you can imagine about, we used to go to Africa. Don't let me use only Ghana, because Nigerians, Ivorians, Togolese, all of us were going almost around the same time. That was around August. So in August, when burgers arrived, you could hear in the atmosphere that burgers have arrived. You know, so we actually pumped falsehood into the system. And that old car that one patron gave you, that car that he had ridden for, let's say, 20 years, he gives you, you ship it to Ghana, and when it arrives in Africa, to them, we have something that in Ghana we used to call home second hand. So once it's from Europe, it is home second hand. Whether it is 50 years old, to them it's new. Okay, that's all is about it. Nothing more, nothing less. So this lies has gone on for so long, and we've got to stop it. Personally, the last times I've been in Ghana, I've been trying to educate my guys. Look, I will not tell you that you cannot make it in Europe, but you have something doing here, something doing. You are a technician. You went to school, because now in Africa, if you go to school, just as I gave the example of those three guys that I know, if you go to school and you go do it well, you make it. You make it faster and easier without struggle. You are home, your parents, your family are with you. You don't have to struggle all this thing we go through here. But the problem is that we don't tell them the truth.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that is the responsibility of every one of us that are here. And I know, of course, if you tell them the truth, if we have heard the truth, many of us will still be here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're not really going to stop any person from migrating. That is not the intention. It's just that you need to migrate with the knowledge that you know what you are facing.
Yeah.
So that you don't need to say, I don't know. We are trying to remove the idea that I don't know. Go in with the idea that you know what you are facing. Then be a man, be a woman, and face it. Because you know what you are, so that you don't need to be blaming your uncle or your cousin or the other person who was there who didn't tell you.
Yeah.
That is why I think it is our responsibility to say what we know, and that which we know is enough. Let the rest take their decisions.
Yes.
All right. Now, you came to Italy. Share with us, what were your first experiences? Was it Verona you came to? Was it Rome? Was it Napoli? Tell us, help us to understand that.
Yeah, I actually landed in Rome, Fiumicino Airport, because I came with a regular visa. I landed in Rome, and the information I had before coming, the piece of information I gathered from friends, because I had a couple of friends here that spoke to me. Some actually dissuaded me from coming, but I was still not listening. So when I came, I remember without any big money to start on your own from Rome, I think I went straight to Napoli with some friends. The story is a bit faded away, so I don't remember. But I ended up in Napoli. For a while, and we were doing all this. They will come, Napolitans will come with their vehicle and pick you from a place, go to the farm. It's either the tomato farm or where they actually cut hay, they feed for horses. Okay, so there was this funny thing. There was this type of harvester, combine harvester, that will cut the hay, process it in the machine, and bale it, in rectangular shapes. One of them would weigh at least between 8 to 10 kilos. Okay, so as the machine is going, it's dropping those bales behind it, and we are behind it, picking and packing it. So we used to call it Zion train. Zion train, like
Zion train.
Zion train 2 days in Zion train, okay, 2 days in Zion train will let you regret leaving your job and coming to Europe. But once you are here and you don't have the money, you don't have anything, you have to do Zion train. And the funny thing is that I remember those days we go to the farm, and this is not for racism. What I'm about to say is not for racism, but the people did not know us. Okay, they just had this boom of people from another continent all over the place. They needed workers. Their own children were not working, so they were forced to employ us. All right. So they take you to the farm. Of course, they have to feed you. So they buy you the bread, the pizza, the focaccia. If you eat, you have to drink water. So the problem was with the water. So they have this cup that they will market. Okay, they will use black men to mark. This is your own cup. Don't touch the cup of him, his or her son. No. And unfortunately, some of those cups were so funny. But later, you know something, I came to myself after years. Well, I think I stayed not that, I didn't even make 1 year before I came to Reggio Emilia through some friends. And from Reggio Emilia, I ended up in Bussolengo here in Verona. And from Bussolengo, I moved to Verona town and started to, you know, go on my life. But back in Napoli, that cop something makes me come back to takes me back to memory when I was back in Africa. In Ghana, I come from the western part of Ghana. Okay, that's the part we cultivate most of coconuts. Okay, coconuts for coconut oil. That's the part. And the same part, the western region also is the richest part for cocoa and things like cassava and stuff like that. Okay, so the thing is so ironic, but it's like where there's more work, okay, that involves manual or manual workers. The locals actually don't love to do it. I don't know if I'm making a point, because Italy, for example, has these tomato farms that every year they have to do flusy for people from outside to come and, you know, harvest it, because the children will leave the university to go and harvest the tomato. That same thing was happening in our place. This coconut farm was something that was the standard job at the time. But we guys, the locals, we were not doing it. So people will actually come from the north of Ghana, okay, to come and work on those farms. All right. And poor as we were at the time, we thought we were superior to the same people of our country that come from the north. So I remember my grandfather on his farm, we had these workers from Bolga or Tamale, okay, which is far in the north. The tribe I think is called Kusasi. These people were hard workers. They will come and weed, and stay on the farm and weed for months and months and months. The funny thing was that anytime we went to the farm, I could remember our caps were different. So this same cap Napoli stuff, people were, you know, there were guys that were angry about it. But me coming from that area where I saw it, I understood that racism, okay, is everywhere. It's all over the place. Consciously or unconsciously, my grandfather was doing this to the people because to him, they were inferior to us. That's the same thing that when we came at the early stage, when we went to the farm, we were being treated. Maybe by just the perception that we're inferior to them, or maybe for fear we could transmit some diseases to them, but it was something that was happening. Well, I didn't take it anything personal because I had seen it before. And because I've seen those things in all these 32 years that I've been in Europe, I can bet you that I've never had any issues that I've had to struggle or argue with somebody because the one is, you know, being racist against me. No, 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 no. I would rather go for what is my right. Okay. And I've defended a lot of guys over certain things, both in commune, supermarket, questura, whatever.